Welcome to the Experience News for Tuesday, January 23rd. These are the things making news in the pop culture world. There's been a lot of conversation out there about how Marvel Studios will move forward now that Jonathan Majors has been found guilty and let go as Kang the Conqueror. One of the narratives online has Marvel moving on from the character and moving to a different villain such as Doctor Doom. Now, this has never sat right with me, as Kevin Feige seems to stick close to his vision of the MCU, and bailing on a character because of a lost actor doesn't really feel like something he would do. Now, a new report from Justin Kroll of Deadline says that they won't be, that Marvel fully intends to recast the character and move forward as planned, regardless of the writer-director changes that have been fueling the speculation. Kroll said on X, formerly Twitter, "See, a lot of who plays Kang next, and here's a top Kang contender for Kang comments this week, and all I have to say is don't expect that news anytime soon. There will be plenty of Marvel breaks in coming weeks on various fronts, but don't hold your breath on that one." He's not saying that all of the names he's being floated out there are false, but rather that Marvel has no plans to announce their Kang anytime in the near future. And since it's Kang's dynasty is going to be a little bit down the line, they don't need to make the announcement. Hell, they haven't announced the Fantastic Four yet, and that's due out next year. All right, when you're as big as Alan Ritchson from Reacher, you sometimes want to do your own stunts. And Ritchson talked about one stunt in particular he did during an interview with Variety. He said, "There was a stunt where I got to run through a full sheet of glass, and I was the one to do it. Of course, they asked, 'Would you like your stuntman?' I said, 'No, man, I'm doing this. I can tell you how much of your primal brain you have to override as you're approaching a sheet of glass while sprinting. Everything in you is like, don't do this.' I smashed through this thing, and I was wearing little shards of glass for days. But when I saw it in the cut, it shot so wide, it could have been anybody. I was so disappointed because it was me, and that was a very harrowing, terrifying 5 seconds of running." So you might want to ask them, hey, if I'm going to do the stunt, how about a close-up while doing it? All right, fans of, after the Christmas special, Doctor Who fans are getting used to the new Doctor, played by Ncuti Gatwa, and his companion Ruby Sunday, played by Millie Gibson. But since then, certain interviews with Gibson have led to some to believe that Ruby will only be the companion for the first 2 seasons. Now the Mirror is reporting that we may get even less of Ruby, as she will likely only appear in 3 of the 8 episodes of the final season that will wrap up her story. She will also not appear in this year's Christmas special. Reports say that there will be a guest companion for the special, and then actress Varada Sethu from Andor reportedly will be joining Gatwa for future adventures. Now, none of this has been confirmed by the BBC, but a lot of posts and stuff from Millie Gibson and stuff like that do seem to be leading this way, that Gibson is only going to be around for season 1 and just a little bit of season 2. Kind of like her too, so it kind of sucks. All right, fans of Matt Reeves' The Batman are eagerly awaiting news on the planned sequel that is due out next year, and we get a bit of an update from Jeffrey Wright, the actor who played Jim Gordon, as he talked to Entertainment Tonight. He said, "You've seen as much of the script as I have at this point. I don't want to jump ahead. I just want to go forward with it. Clearly, I'm Lieutenant Gordon at the end of the first film, so we may be moving up in ranks, I suppose, but I haven't seen anything yet. I'm being patient, letting Matt Reeves do his thing, which is going to be magical and wonderful, and looking forward to diving back in when that time comes." Now, after The Batman made $772 million worldwide, it surprised no one that the sequel will be ordered in a Max series focusing on Colin Farrell's take on the Penguin would go into production. But the fact that Reeves' universe is actually going to be separate from the new DC universe being put together by James Gunn and Peter Safran was a little surprising. Now, it's understandable, though, because think about the Matt Reeves movie. I just watched it again last night. That's not a world where an all-powerful alien flying through the city and stopping bad guys would really fit into. This is a much more grounded world that Robert Pattinson's Batman lives in. Now, Batman Part 2 is currently scheduled to be released October 3rd of 2025. So with special effects and stuff, you're going to assume they're going to want to get into production soon. All right, moving on. We're going to go back to Reacher here because this was fun to learn. One of the best lines from Reacher Season 2 was delivered by Robert Patrick. Now, Robert Patrick is a fun actor. We've seen him since Terminator 2. He was in X-Files. He was recently in the Peacemaker series. Robert Patrick is great. Now, he played one of the main villains of the season, Shane Langston. And in the scene, one of Langston's henchmen is calling in and informing him that Reacher and Neely have registered at a hotel under assumed names. Now, he gives the names, and one of them, Reacher always signs in under the name of a former Yankee player, I believe usually a former Yankee second baseman. Neely has her own conventions, and she's actually signed in under the name Sarah Connor. And the henchman asks if he should find out who Sarah Connor is, and Langston says, I don't give a S who Sarah Connor is. Now, this, of course, is funny because Terminator 2, Robert Patrick is hunting Sarah Connor. Well, it turns out, according to showrunner Nick Santora, this line wasn't written because it was Patrick delivering it. According to an interview Santora did with TV Line, he says, everyone thinks we're so smart and funny for doing it, but that the Sarah Connor line was in there before Robert Patrick came in. I don't want to lie, that's the truth. Originally, Langston was going to be played by Rory Cochrane, but Robert Patrick took over the role after Cochrane dropped out. Santora even considered removing the line when Patrick came on board, saying, I really did have a thought, if I'm being 100% truthful. Do I need to cut this line? Because it's a phone call, so I could have easily put something else in there and just show the other side of the call. But I figured that fans might enjoy it. It's such an iconic movie franchise, and Robert Patrick is such an iconic actor. Let's have a little fun. And I got to tell you, when I heard the line, it made me laugh. I thought it was a great line. So it worked for me. All right, let's move on. We got some news from today. Marvel has released a few images for the upcoming What If Season 3. And that's pretty interesting. Of the 4 shots we got, they seem to be kind of in pairs. 2 from one episode and 2 from another. Now, with one of them, we see first Sam Wilson in the Captain America outfit, Monica Rambeau in the Spectrum outfit, or whatever name she's going by, and then looks to be Bucky Barnes behind them. But it's the second shot that kind of tells you what this episode is going to be, as there are 2 large, depends on what you want to call them, either Gundams or Jaegers suits. One done up to look like Captain America, and the other looks like Monica's colors. So it looks like it's, like Jaeger drivers. They've got the big mech suits and stuff. So that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Now, the second set of shots shows one photo of the Winter Soldier and what appears to be a much younger Red Guardian. Now, this could be a new Red Guardian, but I think it's, we've seen that clip where they're driving through the desert together, so I think this is going to be the history of the Red Guardian and Winter Soldier working, because Bucky still has that scraggly hair look, the all black and stuff. So I think this is like in the past. But there's a second shot that shows Red Guardian being held by the ankles by Goliath? Somebody using Pym's growing technology? I'm assuming it's Goliath because he's the only one that's grown really big. So, and we don't see a close-up of Red Guardian's face, so we don't know if he's got a beard at this point or not. But now, Marvel said in their release that this was an early look at the endless possibilities, but gave no further details. It's interesting that they're already promoting the third season when they haven't really said much about how the second season went. And they haven't said if they were happy with the daily drop format, and there's no, idea of when the series will come out, or season will come out. But at least we're getting images. So, moving on, Star Wars has released a trailer for the Bad Batch's third and final season, and has given a release date already. Now, 3 episodes of the new season will drop on February 21st. Now, the previous season ended on kind of a downer, as they potentially lost one of the crew and their young companion, Omega. It's Omega, but they all say it with Australian or New Zealand accent, so it's Omega. And she's been kidnapped by the Empire. Now, the trailer shows the team will be very interested in getting her back. Plus, we're going to see quite a few guest stars as we get clips of like Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress. So it should be a pretty interesting third season. I've watched the first 2 seasons. I don't love the show, but it's pretty good. And if you're a Star Wars fan, it is good canon stuff to watch. So, and little things from there go into the other episodes and stuff. So you should check it out, see if it's for you. All right. One more story. The double Emmy and Golden Globe winning actress Jillian Anderson has signed on to join the cast of Tron Ares. This is the 3rd film in the Tron sci-fi franchise from Disney. Anderson joins a pretty good cast that already includes Jared Leto, Jodie Turner-Smith, and breakout Greta Lee. Now, details on Anderson's character, of course, and the film's wider plot are currently under wraps, but Disney has confirmed that the pick will follow Leto as Ares, a fictional character who crosses over from the world of video games to Earth. Now, directing Tron Ares is going to be Joaquin Ronan, who did Kon-Tiki. He also helmed both Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, and Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. So, he's got a good history with Disney already. And also in the movie will be Evan Peters, Cameron Monaghan, and Sarah Desjardins. And so that's going to be a pretty good cast. We'll have to wait and see when we start getting trailers for that. All right. Well, that wraps up the news for today. I will be back on Thursday as we take a look at Matt Reeves' The Batman as the first true superhero film noir ever made. Yes, the idea came to me last night while we were rewatching it, but it truly is a film noir, and I will break down the rules for making a film noir and how Reeves used it to make The Batman. Stick around here on The Experience as Miss Jen, producer Kyle, and Jay review this week's newest comics. We have another adventure with the Mindhunter, and then join us for Kicking It with Henri as the master salesman brings his late show to a new day. Have a good evening, everyone.